what advice would you have for new agents who are starting this journey?
It's hard. And that's what it really boils down to, is that it doesn't matter who you are, you're going to have setbacks. But it's not about the setbacks you have, it's how you respond to those setbacks. You're going to have a hard time. Things are going to be rough. But if you will focus, if you will lock in, if you will do the work, you are going to end up living a life that you've always wanted.
Hey team, welcome back to the Life Insurance Academy podcast. Another episode just for you, and I have a special treat. I have been cooking in the kitchen to bring in a special guest, Mr. Brian Jackson. Welcome to the podcast, Brian.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm not going to be the guy who begs people for subscriptions. I'm going to turn to you and allow you to do that.
Okay.
Tell them why they should subscribe.
It's the best podcast on the market.
It's not me. It's not. Listen to the kid. Listen to him. I'm just kidding. No, thanks, Brian, for being here. Guys, I think you're going to get a lot out of today's podcast because it speaks to the heart of a new agent. Maybe it speaks to a new agent dealing with setbacks and adjustments and things that you have to do. So, Brian, let's tell our listeners a little bit about you. You didn't grow up doing insurance. You didn't sit in the treehouse talking to your friends about being a life insurance agent.
No, not at all.
So, what have you done the last 17 years?
I was in law enforcement. I was a deputy sheriff for 15 of the 17 years.
So 17 years, deputy sheriff, that not what I'd expect. That next step moving into life insurance, was that by choice? Was that what brought you to this? Like, what was the conversation that led to this, or some thoughts that led to this?
So I all the years in law enforcement, I knew that when I got out of law enforcement, it was time to get out. And it was kind of funny. I was looking for something to do. Went over to my brother's house for dinner, and one of his best friends in the world was walking out, Brett Boyd.
Okay, yeah.
And Brett heard I was getting out of law enforcement, and we got to talking. He said, "Hey, you should try this insurance thing with me." And I said, "Yeah, I'll give it a shot. What's the worst that could happen?"
So you to give it a shot. Now, Brett, probably some interesting conversations regarding insurance, because I don't know if you met Brett before or after he had written some business, right?
Yes. Before and after.
How much did he do before, or how much did he do that when you were talking to him as far as
it was after his big annuity year.
So he did some business, some annuity business. I think he did 11 million that year or something like that.
Yeah, it was a big number.
You're watching the Bentley pull away, and you're like, maybe I could do that. I think I could do that. Maybe
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, new adventure. Just, I'm curious for you, like, were you feeling like it was time? 17 years. I don't know. Is there a pension? Is there a certain amount of years you have to get to reach that?
So, you become vested after 5. So once you've been there for 5 years and your retirement, it's a vested retirement. After 17 years, I have full retirement benefits.
So conversations with your wife, like how long did that happen where you were like, I'm thinking of something new. I don't want to keep doing this.
So something with my wife, I was talking earlier to some other people. She's a saint.
I have one of those.
Yeah, 100%. And I remember the day I came home and told her that, I just can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
It was not a question of, well, can you continue for a little bit until we find something else? It was a yes.
Wow.
She is super supportive of any decision I've made, which is just amazing to me.
I'm sure there were conversations in regards to even saying that, because I would say my wife's the same way, but having conversations of, this is what it could look like. This is what my hope is. kind of formulating a vision and a strategy.
Yes,
Am I right in that?
We had several conversations in regards to that and really sitting down with Brett too. And because after we had that conversation, he said, "Hey, you should give this a shot." And I said, "Sure." I still didn't know what I was looking at.
Yeah.
So there were lots of late night conversations about, this is what it's going to take to be successful, and these are the steps you're going to have to take, and this is what it's going to look like.
That's good. And I think it is important to have those conversations with your spouse or significant other, even if maybe you're new to this and you're wondering, is this for me? The word we use around here a lot is alignment. And if you don't have that alignment, you don't have that support, you don't have that belief together, it's really, really challenging to pull somebody else into that with you. So inviting people into that conversation. Sounds like you handled that pretty well.
Yeah. So one thing, me and my wife, we're both youth pastors of our church. And so we talk about, a lot of being in one accord, right? Which is the same as alignment, that you have to agree on something before.
So she's like, hard stop, no.
Then it's not going happening anywhere.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, cool. So thankfully she said yes. Thankfully you guys had those conversations, because now you are on the podcast, 17 years, starting a new career. As far as, do you feel like you've always had an entrepreneurial spirit? Is that, you're kind of laughing at that. Tell me about that.
So every other male in my family has had that. My brother is he's invented like golf equipment, and
I think I remember you telling me that.
And my dad,
he invented the 5-iron. Am I right?
Yeah, the 5-iron.
Wow, very useful.
Yeah,
a lot of people using it.
And my dad, I don't know how many times growing up, came to my mom and said, "Hey, we're going to do this." And, he made a board game whenever I was a kid.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Wow.
So every other male in my family has had that, but my wife would tell you I was the steady one.
Okay.
Working the same job for 17 years, but I knew going into this that, it was a business. And I'll say it's a learned behavior from watching my brother and my dad for all those years.
Yeah. So you had an appetite. You didn't want them to have all the fun.
Yes.
And this transition from police officer, I believe I remember this. Did you start this part-time?
Yes.
Are you full-time now?
I am full-time now.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you talk about that journey and what that was like, how you made those decisions to move to full-time?
Yeah. So whenever I left law enforcement, I took another job in sales as well, selling home security.
Oh, okay.
And that was Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, knocking on doors. And I did this when I had the time.
Wow.
I've listened to this podcast. I think I've listened to every episode at this point.
Oh, excellent.
And you have the you can do it part-time, but with the full-time commitment.
Absolutely. Listen to this guy, man. It's quoting.
And unfortunately, when I first started doing it, I didn't have that. But I started going to, I was doing the Medicare stuff, and that I transitioned into life. And it was when I transitioned into life that I really started having more of that full-time mentality that you have to continue, you have to move forward. You can't get stagnant.
Okay. So how long were you doing the door-to-door sales?
A year.
For 1 year. Okay.
Yes.
That is great. I love it, because you're trying to find your way, figuring out where it fits, and the hustle, and understanding you've got to see people. So I think I'm looking at this episode as the evolution to a successful writing agent from like you said, a steady career, even though being a police officer is, there's a lot of risk. There's a lot of danger. I'm sure that having that conversation with your wife saying, yes, I think it's 17 years. We've avoided a lot of could be's.
Yes.
And now it's time to try something else. So take a second as an agent for you. Maybe you're starting, maybe you're on the front side of your career. What brought you to this point? And if you are working part-time, Are you giving it full-time effort? That's the only way to do it. It's the only way to do it. So just take a second and evaluate that for yourself in your journey. Maybe you're on the front side of this and you're deciding, hey, it's a time for a change for me, and I'm willing to do this. Have that conversation with your significant other, people who care about you, and then take the step. Good stuff.
Are you ready to launch your insurance career? Excel Solutions is your go-to leader in life, accident, and health insurance pre-license training. Their cutting-edge e-learning platform is packed with rich content. Think interactive assessments, engaging videos, and customized learning paths, all tailored to your learning style. Being students ourselves, we've trusted Excel now for years to deliver top-notch training, offering high pass rates. Their streamlined prep review courses and the exam simulator are really your secret weapons to nailing the state exam the very first time. Now, you thought it couldn't get any better. Well, it just did. Life Insurance Academy listeners, you receive an epic 50% discount, reducing the regular course fee from $199 to only $99. So, all you have to do is use partner code LIA at liapodcast.org/Excel. Now, Excel spells XCEL. So don't think about it any longer. Dive headfirst into your insurance career with Excel Solutions premier pre-license training with that exclusive 50% discount just for you. Get the code, get licensed, and excel in your insurance career.
As far as your journey, Brian, you entered into Medicare. Why Medicare? What was going on there?
My upline and his upline. So Brett and Zeb Zen, who are, like, for me, great mentors.
Yes.
that I've been able to work with, both heavy Medicare
They've
guys.
done a lot of Medicare.
They do
business.
a lot of Medicare. Yeah. And so getting into it, that's the part of the business that I knew. That's the part of the business that I got to see. And when I really started getting into it, I rode around with Brett and we ran all these Medicare appointments, and he makes it look really easy. He
Yes.
really does. And so that was kind of the vertical that I went towards, because that's what everybody that I worked with was doing.
Yeah.
I was not very successful doing Medicare, though.
So didn't go so well. Do you feel like that was an effort issue? Was it it wasn't something that interested you? What was it?
I think a little bit of both.
Okay.
I could have put a lot more effort into it. And I didn't.
Yeah.
I've talked about the what if, don't be a what if.
Yeah. Explain that so our listeners can dial in here.
When you use the term what if, it's either fear or regret. Mm-hmm. That it's never you never use it in a positive light. That it's a what if I would have worked harder, or what if I would have made this jump. Yeah. And the Medicare side of it was going to be, the whole insurance thing for me was going to be a huge what if. Yeah. Because I didn't work hard enough and I didn't put the hours in.
Hmm. And it is kind of it requires you to focus on the negative. That's a really good point. Yep. People never use it in the positive, but it can be used that way.
It can be.
Like, what if it works?
Yes.
That's a good one.
So I used to train other younger officers. They would sit in the car with me and they would play the what if game. Oh. Is what we called it. Hey, we're going to this call. This is what is going to happen when we get there. And then it's, what if this happens? What if this happens? And you have to tell them, like, we're going to wait and see. Wow. You don't know, but yeah. Insurance is going to be a huge what if for me.
So what changed, right? At this point, it doesn't sound like you're winning.
No, I am not.
Yeah. You had the conversation. Your wife's like, I'm on board. You go do the Medicare thing. What changed for you?
The Medicare, the boot camp, going to my first boot camp.
Okay. So you had a conversation with Brad.
Yes.
And you're like, buddy, I don't know if this is for me.
So I had not had that conversation yet. I was about to have that conversation.
Oh, okay.
I kind of talked to my wife and said, I don't know about this. I was making good money in my home security sales, and I was really struggling with this, and I just didn't think that this was it. talked to my wife and told her on Monday I'm calling Brett and I'm going to tell him that I'm done. And he beat me to the phone call.
That's a good upline.
Yeah. He called me, I want to say it was a Friday night, and said, hey, they're doing this life insurance sales boot camp. You need to go. He bought my ticket for me, and I bought my leads.
And that is one thing I will say that I really appreciate about Brett and Zeb both, is they've both been through our boot camps.
Yes.
Yeah. So understanding, learning the process, all of that. Brett, I think he was at that one.
He was at the February one,
right.
with me.
Yeah, and this was your first experience with a boot camp. Tell me, how did you perform in your first boot camp?
7,500.
Okay.
I outrode everyone, including Clark Stanley. I do want to point that out. I try to rub that into Clark every chance I get.
Awesome.
That I did beat him at that first boot camp.
You're like the high school point guard that played with Zion.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not true because I know you are chomping. 2026 is going to be a fascinating year for you. I can tell. It's I see that Clark raised the bar, and you're like, I'm. You only did 100,000.
Yeah, that's
that
it.
Month?
Well,
what is this, amateur hour?
I actually texted him whenever that went, because I said, hey, you still have 5 days. You probably couldn't hit 120 anyway. You might as well just give up.
That's a great line. Yes. So you're like 130.
Yeah,
You think 130.
I've had people that have really pushed me to go for that in February.
Okay. It's a short 28 days.
That's what I said. I said, you take the 4 Sundays off. That's 24 days. You guys are really, really pushing it, but we are, we're going to go for it.
Okay. So it's on the podcast, dude.
Yeah.
You hear that?
Yeah.
We are going to clip that, buddy. Noted. Okay. So you did 7,500. Now that's great. And to be fair, that wasn't Clark's first boot camp.
It was not.
So you were a rookie coming in, and you dunked on him. You dunked on him
for sure.
That's awesome. I love it. So 7,500. How? Because I'll tell you, I have sat with agent after agent after agent. I've seen crying. I've seen walking out of the room. I've seen people never come back.
Yeah.
In a boot camp. 7,500 has to be. I'll have to check our numbers. Yep, it is a record. I don't know if that's true, but on a first time in a boot camp, first life event, that's impressive. So tell me, how the heck did you do it?
Well, I was Brett. I was going to tell Brett I was done. Right. When I bought leads for that, I had $7 left in my bank account. That's it. I had $7.
How many leads did you buy?
I bought 50, which was the minimum.
Yeah, it was.
When you're going to these, you guys say bring 50 fresh leads.
Yes.
That was the first real lead order that I made.
Wow. $7 left.
I had $7 left in my bank account.
You're scratching at the screen, hoping there's another number there.
Yes. And I remember, Brett got us a motel, and he paid for the gas to get up there. He covered all the costs, but my intent was still when I got home to tell him that I was done. But we went, and I had a conversation with my wife because she knew that I was ready to be done. And she said, listen, you just have to go and try. So, I said, I'm going to sit in the room. I'm in the room for 12 hours a day. Like, there's nowhere to go. Right. We're not staying. We weren't in the motel that the event was in, so there's no going up to my room to relax.
Yes. You were locked in.
Yeah. So I said, this is what I have to at least try. And I don't know if you remember this or not, but the advice that you gave me at that, after I made my first sale, it was a real rough sale.
Okay.
I
don't remember this. I'm excited to hear this.
very permission seeking. Is it okay if we do this? Is it okay if we do that? Not following the script very well, not following that principled sales process, but somehow I fumbled through it.
Yeah.
And got an app out of it. And you came and sat next to me and you said, hey, you used to be a cop, right? And I said, yeah, I was. He said, you should talk like it. Talk with a little bit of authority. And I said, oh, I can do that.
Yeah.
And that little piece of advice, the next phone call I got on, I had a little more confidence and I had some authority. I wasn't, hey, is it okay if we do this? I'm telling you, hey, this is what we're doing next.
Yeah.
And that was a big change for me. I give Clark a hard time because he's loud. If anybody has never been around Clark, you can hear him from 3 rooms away.
Yeah.
I am very soft-spoken.
Yeah.
I am the exact opposite of Clark. So we kind of, it's kind of comical to me when we're together doing this. It's the same process.
Yeah.
And it's just a little different.
I love to hear that and see that. There are things I say that people can naturally sell on. It's charisma and confidence. And either way, you can move somebody, you can influence somebody based on that. But if you're not committed to the principled sales system, it's very hard to keep business sticking. It makes people feel like if you aren't using a principled sales process and you're just moving off of confidence and charisma, sometimes people can get off the phone with you and feel like it was kind of a icky experience.
Yes.
And it's great to see that anybody from any walk of life, different tonality, different approaches can win following a principled sales process.
So there's a preacher that comes to my church from time to time. His name's Prince. Very, very good guy.
Does he play the guitar?
He does not, but he does sing.
Okay. Awesome.
And he has a saying, and I think it's so applicable that no amount of persuasion will cause somebody to do something. It's the conviction. So I can be very persuasive, and I may make that sale, but when they get off the phone, the chances of that business not sticking are very high. But if you have somebody that you can convince them through your conviction that this is the right thing, that business will stick.
Dude, that's really good. And tell Prince that's great. I agree with him 100% on that.
Yep.
And I love how he played How My Guitar Gently Weeps. That is my favorite performance.
I'll make sure to tell him.
By him. No. But I want to talk about that conviction piece. As you're talking about that, I'm going to put you on the spot here. When you look at the principled sales process, where do you see that resonate? Where do you see that kind of pulsate or glow in our sales process?
With the stakes. That is where most of the conviction comes from, because I didn't get my life insurance for me. And I got my life insurance because I have two daughters and a wife. That's who my life insurance policy is for.
Yeah.
If you don't know the stakes, if you don't know the reason you're getting life insurance, then that conviction never comes into play.
When you're doing that, just so I hear, like, and our agents here from relatively September 24, we're just we're a year into this fall start run. I'll get to some additional numbers here, but what is it you're saying, or what are you asking to help elevate that or raise the stakes for clients that you find is most effective in your calls?
So there is an episode that you guys did about the 3 questions you should ask on every call.
This guy.
And it was, one of them is to tell me more about that. When you get to stakes, there are a lot of people that will try to avoid that question because it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
People don't like to talk about those things, but it's your family, right? That's the stakes. And if they are trying to kind of shy away from it, I invite them to talk about it a little bit more. Like, it sounds like this is really important to you. Why don't you tell me a little bit more about your family and get them to talk about their family and then go back into the stakes. Because when they talk about their kids, their grandkids, their daughters, their sons, that's when you get more of the conviction on I really need to get something done.
That's when you're the one asking the questions and they're telling you why they need it. That's when it becomes a conviction for them.
Yes.
Right. And that's when we say a verbalized need becomes a want. You know it's a need. They are uncertain it's a need.
Yes.
Until they start talking about it and it elevates it. That's great. So for you, it's kind of, from what I'm hearing, it sounds like it's kind of a combination of what does it look like? Tell me more.
Yes.
And then it kind of, they will get to a point where you can feel the pain point that you're just touching it. Like
Yes.
that's all we're saying. We're just touching the pain point. I would say, from my perspective in our conversation, Brian, another key area of conviction is belief.
Yes.
And you have conviction. I hear it when you talk about this, and you've had a journey of dealing with things yourself.
Yes.
And some would say, obviously setbacks, but I don't know. It gives you a different perspective on the value of what you do.
Yeah,
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So after I went to my first telesales event and knew that, hey, this is the road I want to go down, I got back, and 2 weeks later had a massive heart attack.
Young guy.
Yeah.
Young family.
Yes.
Yeah. How old are your kids?
17 and 14. Both girls.
Oh,
so yeah.
Girl dad.
Yeah.
Golly.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
2 weeks later.
2 weeks later. The day before my daughter's 14th birthday. Had a heart attack.
Wow. So they take you in?
So I had my heart attack. Didn't tell anyone. I didn't know what happened. It wasn't like your traditional, like, oh, my arm's going numb, my chest hurts, things of this nature. Knew something happened. Didn't know what it was. Sat down on the couch. It kind of passed.
Oh my goodness.
Told my wife the next morning when she was on her way. She's a nurse. She was on her.
But you didn't say, babe, I had a heart attack.
I did not say, babe, I had a heart attack.
You're just describing your symptoms at this point. Okay.
So she's a nurse.
Yeah.
She's on her way to the hospital where she works. And I told her, hey, this happened yesterday. Vision went really blurry. I couldn't get up off the couch. My chest kind of hurts today. Mm-hmm. And she said, you're going to the doctor. Yeah. I said, no, I'll be fine. And she would not leave the house until I got on my app and scheduled a doctor's appointment.
Got on your app.
Yeah.
Scheduled a doctor's appointment. Just put in there, chest pain. Mm-hmm.
I didn't put in everything because when I said, hey, they can't get me in for a week. She left for work about 8:15. I got a call from the doctor's office telling me, hey, you're coming in today.
Oh, so they changed schedule around.
Changed schedule around.
Yeah.
So my doctor was my high school nurse. She's a nurse practitioner. So I've known her since I was really young. And she called me and said, it's not a choice. I know your mom. I'll call your mom if I have to.
Golly, man. Wow.
You're coming in. They did the EKGs and all of that and said, hey, you had a heart attack.
Wow. That's a surprise. How old are you?
At that point in time, I was 38. I'm 39 now.
Wow. And so discovery, and honestly, I any surgery?
I was lucky enough that all I had to do was get an angiogram.
Okay.
And they placed 3 stents in my widowmaker artery.
Wow.
I had a 75% blockage.
Wow.
And it was kind of, my cardiologist told me, oh, you probably don't have anything wrong. You're too young. You're going to be fine.
They thought that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I went in for my angiogram, you could hear the change in his voice whenever they were doing the angiogram. But yeah, I had a 75% blockage at 3 different places in my widowmaker artery.
Does that change your perspective on what you do?
It changes your perspective on everything that you do, not just for work, but everything.
Tell me more.
I like it. It was, I missed a lot being in law enforcement. Birthdays, like my wife would come and eat with all the guys I was supervising for our anniversary.
Yeah.
I missed a lot. And when you go through something like that, it's not the, everything else that I did away from my family. It's how much have I missed with my kids. My daughter's 17. She's a junior in high school.
Yeah.
I have a year and a half left with her in the home.
Yeah.
And it kind of puts all that into perspective. And then once I got back to work and I talked to these people that, while I had this heart attack, you realize how important it is to get something in place to take care of your family, because you never know. I had no signs or symptoms before my heart attack.
I mean, they call it the silent killer.
Yeah.
And you, honestly, my friend, were on that trajectory if it wasn't for your wife and your high school nurse.
My high school nurse doctor.
Like,
yeah.
you had an army of angels.
100%.
Very clear.
100%.
Wow. So when I hear that and your conviction, I mean, I look at your next telesales. I know there was a delay in what came next and getting healthy. And I mean, obviously your next step isn't to jump into a highly competitive room.
No, it's not.
I'm like, but the telesales we had, your next one was 12,900 in production. The next one was 11,000. You're competing right now in a room full of people who put up big numbers for this event that you're a part of this week.
This week, looking forward to it.
And you have in each of our telesales events been neck and neck with Clark.
Yes.
So it's going to be fun to see you guys in the room.
He has been calling me number 2 all week long. So
that's great. That's great. Well, I appreciate your story and your journey, and this idea of conviction. I believe I'm 100% in agreement with your pastor Prince friend, who says, I don't know if he says it this way, but I believe conviction moves you.
Yes.
I believe conviction is a key ingredient to change. I believe that it is, you mix conviction with vision. That is a whole new thing. So where are you? Where are you in this journey? Maybe you've heard something on here that is moving you towards that conversation. Maybe you're hearing something that says, hey, maybe I should get in the room and learn this process. I do want to ask you, as far as boot camps, you've done a lot of boot camps in writing. Now you're doing personal business outside of that.
Yes.
But how has that prepared you or propelled you forward in your career so far?
So getting in the room is vitally important. And that's something that I learned. We talk about all the time that you win in community, you lose when you're isolated. That not only does getting into these boot camps teach you exactly what you should be doing and the process behind it, but you also, through these boot camps, I've met guys like Clark, that we have this friendship now that, we're texting back and forth, giving each other a hard time every week. But like, I've met Elvire, who has been, and it's amazing to me that these guys like Clark that just wrote $100,000 in a month, and guys like Elvire that write $750,000 a year, will take time out to answer questions for people. And like for this event, we rented an Airbnb. There's 7 of us staying in this Airbnb, and it's Clark and Elvire and Thomas that you guys talk to, and all these guys that when you get into that room, into that community, you realize you're not alone, right? And it shows you the process of what you should be doing on a daily basis. And you can take that and go and run with that. When you are by yourself, you're still not by yourself.
I do feel like this world of virtual sales is great opportunity. Like, holy cow, it's endless opportunity. It also comes with endless rejection. I mean, you're getting hung up on faster than a door can shut in your face in a day.
Correct.
Like, it's endless rejection. And then there is being alone. And it's great when you can create environments where people can get next to people who are in the same fight with you, who are finding success. I think that's pretty cool. From your perspective in this, I will say I do think you do have the superpower of being able to speak with authority and being soft-spoken. Like, that's a rare experience that has transferred very well for you into this, and also it's your youth pastor experience, being able to connect with people. You add that on top of it. It's a little sprinkle of this, it's a, it's a delicious meal. I mean, it's really cool stuff. Now, in saying all of that and, looking at setbacks and your journey so far, what advice would you have for new agents who are starting this journey?
It's hard, right?
That's it.
See, no, it's,
I'm with you, bro. It is. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think that I've been very blessed. So last year marks my first IMO, right? And I've listened to interview after interview of people who are like, I went through 3 or 4 IMOs before I found one that I really felt like home. I've been blessed. From day one, when Brett brought me on, he said, hey, we're with this IMO. It's great.
Yeah.
But even with a really good IMO, it's a struggle.
Yeah.
And even if you take my heart attack away and I don't have that heart attack, there's still struggles there, every day. Like, bought my first lead order, had $7 in my bank account.
Right.
That's not something that I don't think that a lot of people look at that side of it. They look at the flashy cars and things of that you see online. Now, I haven't seen any of that with Lasting Mark. Right. I'm not walking in the parking lot and seeing a line of Bentleys.
Right.
Right. Mm-hmm. But everybody I've talked to at Lasting Mark talks about the work and the dedication. Yeah. That it is hard, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
And that's what it really boils down to, is that it doesn't matter who you are, you're going to have setbacks. If you go and listen to the first podcast you guys did with Clark, he talked about in his first 3 months, he wrote, I think it's 3 apps.
Yes.
And so you're going to have setbacks.
Yeah.
But it's not about the setbacks you have. It's how you respond to those setbacks. That you're going to have a hard time. Things are going to be rough, but if you will focus, if you will lock in, if you will do the work, you are going to end up living a life that you've always wanted.
Really cool stuff, man. I think that wraps up nicely. And from what I hear from you, what I'm hearing is get in a community of people who have your back and can support you.
Yes.
There will be setbacks. It requires a commitment, and you keep showing up.
Correct.
And it's worth it.
It's 100% worth it.
Very good. If people want to reach out to you, are you on the socials?
I am.
Are you on Instagram?
I'm on Instagram, the Facebook, TikTok.
You're on TikTok.
I'm on everything.
Well, just tell him, he'll put it on the screen. What's your Instagram handle?
So
if people want to reach out to you?
Instagram handle is Abundant Life INS. Mm-hmm. Facebook is going to be Abundant Life Insurance Group.
Okay.
And TikTok is going to be Abundant Life Insurance as well.
Very good. Very good. Well, we appreciate you being on here. I will say, reach out if you want to have a conversation about how do you move through setbacks, or how do you start, or maybe you're looking for somebody to connect with. You can have this conversation with Brian. Brian's one of the most generous, caring people I know. I am excited about his future and what is coming. And I also need to put this disclaimer. Our boot camps do not cause heart attacks. I need to be very clear about that. But it'll make your heart pump. So get there to a boot camp. Thank you, guys. And please do hit the subscribe button. We'd love to hear your comments below. He will respond to every single one of them. I'm making that promise. So be sure to comment below, and we'll catch you on the next Life Insurance Academy podcast. Thank you.